Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Woodbridge, the best town around. Tonight you're going to find out why I keep saying that. Let me start by introducing our town council. And yes, I do have my pink shirt. I just didn't put it on yet. I'll have it on for the council meeting. We do this once a year for Breast Cancer Awareness Month. To my far right, Councilman Brian Small, Councilman at Large. To his left, Lizbeth DeJesus, Councilwoman at Large. To her left, Corey Spiller, 3rd Ward Councilman, Port Reading and Avenel. To his left, Debbie Meehan, 5th Ward Councilwoman, Colonia. To her left, Howie Bauer, 2nd Ward Councilman, Ford's Hope Lawn and Caseby. To his left, Sharon McAuliffe, 1st Ward Councilwoman, C. Warren and Woodbridge proper. To her left, George Brood, longtime Director of Public Works, longtime Public Works employee, now Director. To his left, Deputy Police Director Joe Niski. To his left, Police Director Bob Hubner. To my right, the star of the show, Mr. Eric Baumgartner. And the fact that he's standing next to me here tonight is nothing short of a miracle after what he went through. So we all know the story. He was out working at Islam Middle School, lining fields. The rain was coming, I guess, and it hit so quick. I was out at the time in my car. I saw exactly what was happening. I wasn't too far away at the time. The rain hit so quick, and the lightning hit so quick that he was actually electrocuted. I guess the lightning hit the ground, traveled, and came up. Good thing it didn't hit you directly. You wouldn't be standing here. And I got the call saying one of our guys is down at Islam Middle School. So I started driving there, and I talked to, I think it was Vito who called me, and the situation did not sound good at all. And as I was driving there, I thought I'd be looking at a white sheet in the middle of the field, and there would be somebody under it. I didn't even know who it was at that time. I didn't know it was Eric. We didn't get a name. We just knew it was one of our guys. It just sounded so bad. And to have him recover as quick as he did, he was awake. You saw George Brew in the ambulance. I can't imagine waking up from being struck by lightning and the first person you see is George Brew. I mean, you know, it could have been an angel, it could have been your wife, it could have been your kid. It was George Brew. And then, but the fact is, he was awake and alert after getting struck by lightning. And then, you know, they got him to the hospital right away. A few of us, I know it was me and you and Casey, Vito Simluka, the administrator, and Casey Wagner, the deputy administrator, went up to the hospital. We couldn't get in. I said, just follow me, and I made it look like I was a doctor on call. I'm calling my phone, and I'm looking around, and I just went very quick. Next thing you know, I'm in Eric's room, and I hear Eric talking. I said, wow, Eric's alive. Shazam. And Shazam. And we go back, and man, you looked awful, but you were alive. I mean, you say, yeah, he heard my voice. He said, Mayor. I said, holy crap, this guy's alive. And we talked to him for a while, and he was amazingly good spirits. I don't think he even knew what the heck happened to you really at that point. But then went through his treatment, got released, still going through treatment. A bunch of us went over to see him at the house, and the whole group did a ramp for him because he was in a wheelchair, and there was other efforts. Everybody, you know, took care of the family, bringing food, taking care of the kids. Is it your mom? Your in-laws live local, and they were there. I mean, the outpouring of affection and love for Eric Baumgartner was unbelievable, especially from the crews you work with. And nonstop phone calls, how's Eric, what's happening? You have a lot of people who love you, man. You really, really do. And I'm so thrilled that you're here today. And we want to recognize the people who made sure he was here today. And we're going to start with Officer Robert R.J. McPartland from the Woodbridge Township Police Department. R.J. I've got to read this proclamation. Whereas on June 14, 2023, Woodbridge Police Department Communications Center dispatched all available units to the soccer fields at Island Middle School on report that a Department of Public Works employee had been struck by lightning. And whereas first to arrive at the scene, WPD Officer Robert R.J. McPartland, assigned to school patrol at neighboring John F. Kennedy Memorial High School, located DPW employee subsequently identified as Eric Baumgartner and DPW employee Craig Addy and Lenny Marchetti, attending to their fellow worker. So RJ was next door when the hospital was getting out, and his next stop was the middle school where they were getting out. So he was amazingly in the right place at the right time, heading to the site, right, saw the lightning, heard the bolt, probably shook you, you were right there, and within minutes, he was there. Officer McPartland immediately began chest compressions as responding Woodbridge Police Department officers Ryan Trudell, William T. Schneider, and Laura Higgins. Please come up, the three of you. Congratulations. And Island Middle School nurse Lauren Weber, please come up. Whose husband at the time was our first aid coordinator, so it runs in the family. Initiated emergency medical procedures to include patient ventilation, additional compression maneuvers, and AED evaluation. And whereas as a result of the immediate, efficient, and comprehensive initiation of emergency medical procedures by the attending first responders, and notwithstanding the onslaught of the severe thunderstorm, which at this point, it was coming down as hard as rain can come down. As soon as I got out of my car, I was completely drenched. It was ridiculous how hard it was raining, but it didn't stop these people. Where was I? DPW employee Baumgartner was resuscitated at the scene and regained consciousness through continued emergency medical treatment while en route to the hospital. Now, therefore, I, John McCormick, Mayor of the Township of Woodbridge, in concert with the Township Council, do hereby extend highest honor to Officers McPartland, Schneider, Trudell, Higgins, Nurse Weber, DPW employees Addy and Marchetti for their immediate and professional life-saving response and dedication to public safety in the aftermath of a rare lightning strike that nearly took the life of fellow municipal employee Eric Baumgartner. I'm getting goosebumps reading this. These people here saved this man's life. Doesn't get better. And I'm going to first ask RJ, I know we saw you get an award at the picnic that the Irish Club had, and you said a few words. So I'm going to ask you to do that again. Just explain maybe for the people in the audience here and the people watching on TV what it was like. I mean, a lightning strike is different protocol, I got to imagine, in CPR because of what happened. Tell me, just go ahead. Tell me in your own words.
Sure. Like the mayor said, it all worked out. It was all just... it was perfect timing. I was in the right place at the right time for the event that unfortunately happened. Seeing it come down and then seeing it come in the computer, knowing I was pulling into the parking lot, I just knew that, it was going to have a good chance, and we were going to do, everything we could for Eric. And gratefully, through all the training that we received through the department and the administration improves for us, that we're all trained with this knowledge to be able to help everybody. Not just Eric, but everyone, in the town that we're able to help.
So aren't you more trained than normal because you come from an EMT background and a fire department background? Don't you have even more training and experience to deal with this?
I would say a little bit more. Obviously, it's definitely something I've never dealt with before. It was a first for, I think, almost all of us here, something that we didn't expect, and, we were able to figure out and get through together.
And don't you have some kind of relationship with Eric? You knew him somehow through
Yeah, we go, we've gone way back. We've known each other for many years, and prior to getting hired as a police officer, I worked in the DPW, and would get to see him almost on a daily basis at the town garage.
How did you know right away it was somebody you knew?
Yeah.
You did know it was Eric?
Yeah, I knew it was a township employee, and obviously once I got to him, I was able to see who it was and realized.
All right, tell me about the three fellow police officers here, unless you guys want to talk individually. You're good. Laura, you good? Ryan, you good? All right, so
Thanks, guys.
throw it out for your cohorts here, and tell me about how they assisted it, and give them the props that they deserve.
Sure, yeah, it was, I pulled up, and within seconds, within minutes, Officer Trudell was there with me. We were able to pretty much go through the whole thing together. He was right there next to me. Shortly after, Officer Schneider and Higgins arrived. Before that, Mrs. Weber, Nurse Weber.
I'm going to get to her.
All right. I was going to say, don't leave her out. She was a huge help in this. As a team, once we got all the equipment we needed on scene, because, we obviously needed AED, a lot of medical supplies. Once we got everything on the scene together, as a team, we're able to perform everything we needed.
All right. Your turn, Lauren. Come on up. Now, from what I understand, you immediately grabbed the paddles, the
box.
The box.
So we got a call, and I had teachers in my office, and I said, the police are calling me. Let me see what this is.
That's a good idea.
Pushed everyone out of my office, and they said, you have someone in cardiac arrest on your soccer field. And I said, okay, I'm on the way. So I activated the response at our school. So myself and my principal, Kelly Salento, we grabbed both AEDs. And we ran outside, and
In the pouring rain at the time?
in the pouring rain at the time, and we saw the officers doing the great work that they were doing, and we were just kind of like, how can we help? When it was needed, I jumped in and helped with the compressions as needed, and just so thrilled that like everything just worked out so well. I mean, it was like in perfect harmony. Everything that was supposed to happen happened, and it had the greatest outcome.
Did you have to ultimately deploy the paddles?
No, so it was on and it was analyzing, but no shock was advised.
Okay. Is that because it was a lightning strike?
It could have just been the rhythm that he was in, that he was experiencing. Sometimes it's not a shockable rhythm.
Okay. All right. Very good.
Yeah.
All right. I'd like to ask the... I'd like to ask Director Hubbard. It literally seems like for the last year, every month, we're giving out a proclamation to somebody in town who saved somebody's life, whether it's fire, first aid, police, CERT, other employee, you name it. It seems like we're constantly recognizing people. Bob, you want to say a few words about these heroic
Thanks,
officers?
Mayor. I'd like to thank the mayor for recognizing everybody and the council for being here. You heard a lot tonight about being in the right place at the right time. Well, that was important. But what was really important, these people did an amazing job to bring him back. So, congratulations.
And of course, nothing would have happened without those first phone calls and your coworkers, Craig Addy and Lenny Marchetti. Without them being on the ball and aware of what was going on, this would have had a whole separate outcome. So where are those guys? Can you guys come up? What's up, man? Time no see. You want to say, Mr. Patty, come on over here. Tell me, you were the one on the phone. Man. But first of all, that could have been you. You're there, you see Eric go down. Tell me what goes through your mind at that point.
Well, it took a second to realize what was really going on, but I didn't waste any time calling 911 and running right out to him.
And did you describe everything to them on the phone while they were sending somebody out? Did
Yes.
they ask you a lot of questions?
Yeah.
All right. And you were on Marchetti, were you on the phone or he was on the phone?
I was.
All right. Well, he certainly was there to support you. So
He was.
let's hear for Marchetti. George is, as I said, Public Works Director. Sorry for that little joke I told on your expense, but we go back a long time. You'll forgive me, especially since I signed your paychecks.
So, once again, like the mayor said it, Craig and Lenny being on site at the time, making that initial call was key. This thing, as we all know, would have maybe had a different direction if they weren't there and doing what they have to do. I'm sure after talking to these gentlemen, they were definitely ready to do whatever they had to do. Fortunately, police department was right there, so they were able to step in. But these gentlemen are also trained in CPR and first aid, so they're ready to kick in if they needed to be. So we're definitely very proud of them for what they did. One of the hardest phone calls I've ever had, hopefully I never have another phone call like this, was from Bobby Higgins that Eric had gotten struck by lightning. That's not a call that anyone thinks they're ever going to get. But the final outcome, when I was able to speak to Eric in the ambulance, and we had a conversation, so the next hardest call I would ever have to make would be to his wife, and I was able to tell her that Eric was okay, and I spoke to him. So that changed the whole turn of events as far as I was concerned, and I think everyone. We knew Eric was going to hopefully get through this, but that was a positive phone call I was able to make. So thank you to everybody. Thank you, Mayor.
We have with us Dr. Joe Massimino, who's the superintendent of schools in Woodbridge. He's here because one of his school employees was a hero. And as I always say, it could take one kid or one student or one teacher getting honored, and the principals are here. And in this case, the superintendent, who has 14,000 employees, students, I'm sorry, about 2,000 employees, is here for one of them who's being honored. Dr. Massimino, do you want to say something? He's going to hate. He's going to hate me for this. He's going to hate me.
I think everybody said what needed to be said in terms of the partnership and the teamwork that goes on. I'm beyond thrilled. You know, I know a lot of these officers, they're in and around our schools all the time. So, you know, to speak to the work they do is an honor. You know, the DPW guys take care of our fields. It's a partnership, right? It takes everybody. Everybody's connected. There's a hand in everything. You know, Ms. Weber, I think, represents the absolute best you should hope any healthcare or nurse training person does. I was in awe when I heard of it. I think we talk about what to do in an emergency, and the idea of somebody actually just moving, right, just reacting, which is obviously what everybody up here did, it's a testament to their training. It's a testament to how well everybody here in the community, whether it's law enforcement, DPW, teachers, you know, we're all pushing for the same goal. So it's great to see that, you know, he's here and we can celebrate a really great effort on everybody's behalf. And I'll make sure I get back to the mayor for making me speak here later. So, thank you.
All right, now we saved the best for last. Today's hero, the guy who survived when everybody thought it might not happen, myself included. Ladies and gentlemen, Eric Baumgartner.
As of other people, I'm not a big public speaker either, so I'm going to make it just sweet and short. Thank you for everybody for that day. It's like the mayor said, and everybody could have really turned upside down really quick, and the right people were there at the right time, and just everything fell in place, and I can't be more grateful. You know, I'm getting back on my feet. I hope I'll be going back to work hopefully soon, but I'm taking my time and getting there, and that's all I can do. But Shazam. But thank you, everybody, again.
Everybody can please rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Can we just have a moment of thought and reflection for the parts of the world that are suffering through wars, especially the innocent people that have nothing to do with it? Thank you.
Notice requirements of the open public meeting law have been satisfied concerning this meeting. The Home District Tribune published a notice on November 25th, 2022. It was posted on the municipal bulletin board and will be so noted in the minutes of this meeting. Councilman Bauer. Here. Councilwoman De Jesus. Here. Councilwoman McCullough. Here. Councilwoman Meehan. Councilman Patel. Councilman Small. Here. Councilman Spiller. Here. Vice President Anderson. Here. And President Flickr. Here. Could I get a motion to approve the minutes from September 19, 2023?
Motion. Second.
Any questions or comments from council? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Beginning with second reading ordinances this evening, I'm going to take letters A and B both by consent. Both ordinances regarding Chapter 7, which is our traffic and parking ordinances regarding handicap parking at 323 Gill Lane and on Luther Street. With that said, can I get a motion that these ordinances be taken up on second and third reading and the public hearing be open?
Motion.
Second.
Any questions or comments from council? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. The public hearing is now open on letters A and B only. A and B. Hearing no comment from the public, and again, motion that the public hearing be closed, the ordinance be adopted and submitted to the mayor for approval as required by law.
Motion.
Second.
Any questions or comments from council? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Ordinances listed before you, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, and M. These are first reading ordinances, and I get a motion that they all be passed on first reading, published in the Homeowners Tribune on October 20th, with notice of public hearing to be held on October 31st at 6 p.m.
Motion.
Second.
Any questions or comments from council? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Finally, Mr. President, we have 32 resolutions listed for your consideration. Can I get a motion to approve 1 through 32 by consent?
Motion.
Second.
Have any questions or comments from council? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. That's all I have. Thank you.
All right, folks, we're going into the public portion of the meeting. This is when anybody in the audience can address the council. When approaching the microphone, it's in the backhand corner. Please state your name and what section of town or the state that you live in, just so we know who we're speaking with. You will have a one-time opportunity to speak for up to 5 minutes. We ask that you keep your comments focused on the topic and not repeat something that somebody said before you. Videotaping is allowed, but it's got to be in the back area. There's a designated area that's roped off back there. Please make sure there are no signs or posters, which I don't see any. Again, public session allows for 5 minutes. I'll try to give you a 1-minute warning, not to be rude, but just to let you know in case you want to make a closing statement. And that's pretty much it. We just ask that you be kind to each other and respect each other's opinion. So with that said, the public portion is now open.
Hello, my name is Kirsten Zenikis. I'm a resident of 431 Hobart Road, North Brunswick. I have lived in Middlesex County for 30 of my 32 years. I went through K-12 school in Middlesex County. All 3 of my degrees are from Rutgers University. And during grad school, I substitute taught in Woodbridge schools, Avondale Street School, lovely place. Would have liked to work there as a teacher. I did not last long as a teacher, about 4 years, and then I went back to school for nursing. And so that's why I'm here before you today. I'm one of the 1,700 nurses at Robert Wood Johnson University Hospital who's currently on strike. We have been on strike since August 4th. We understand that the council cannot interfere with negotiations. That's not what we're here about. We're not here to ask anyone to talk to the CEO or president or anyone like that. We are here because of the legislative issue, and that is that there is a safe staffing bill that has been stalled in the State Assembly and Senate for about 20 years. I will say 20 years ago, I was in middle school, so that was quite some time ago now. That is, let's see, so the bill in the Assembly is A4536, and the State Senate is S304. So then State Senator Joseph Vitale from this district already supports this bill. We would like Assemblyman Craig Coughlin to also support this bill, and for Assemblywoman Yvonne Lopez to be a co-sponsor, and for Craig Coughlin to also put this up for a vote. Safe staffing affects all of us. It affects nurses as well as patients. I work on a cardiac floor. Everyone here has a heart. Sometimes hearts stop working appropriately. If we deal with patients who have heart failure, we deal with heart transplants, patients who need LVADs, which is a pump that goes on the left ventricle of the heart for anyone who's unfamiliar and does the work of your left ventricle if your heart cannot. We have patients who are post-pacemaker placement, who are post-ICD placement, who are post-heart attacks, myocardial infarctions of multiple types, And we get that on our floor, and we would like to be able to give better care to those patients. I'm sure everyone here can think of a time when someone they know was affected by a health condition, needed a hospital. Maybe that was a time when it was routine, like someone was giving birth, but for a lot of us, we know people who needed care other times. I see a lot of you are wearing pink for Breast Cancer Awareness Month, which is great. We also work with cancer patients. We want to be able to give all patients the care that they deserve. I know my mother is a breast cancer survivor, so is my aunt. And my aunt does not live in New Jersey, but my mother does. And she went to CINJ for treatment at that time, and she had a good outcome. And I'm thankful that the nurses and doctors that she worked with were able to give her the care. Now that it is years later and we have seen things change after COVID and with just people having more comorbidities, we know that as nurses that people need a higher level care than we're often able to give. And that's why we're here to encourage you to, talk to other assembly people, encourage Craig Coughlin to support this bill. Thank you.
Before you step down, can I just ask you, you said the Assembly Bill was 4536. What was the Senate
Yes.
number?
S304.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Are there any other comments this evening?
Hello. My name is Carol Tanzi. I live in Edison, New Jersey. I am a nurse for 25 years at Robert Wood, and the reason we're appealing to the public is because we've been largely ignored by the politicians in Middlesex County, and nurses never turn their back on anyone. So Robert Wood Johnson is a very large entity in this state, and especially in Middlesex County, and has control over quite a bit of the media and the messaging out there. So largely their narrative has been that we are asking for money, and that is furthest from the truth. While we do deserve a fair raise, that is not why we're on strike. We're specifically on strike for unsafe staffing, which is not a problem just at Robert Wood Johnson. It is rampant in the country. Every single state has this problem. There is a huge nursing shortage right now. It is actually at a crisis level. Nurses have been repeatedly asked to step up, to do more with less. And because of the nature of people that nursing draws, we're compassionate, we take the responsibility on, but we are no longer willing to do that. This year set a precedent for a nurse being criminally prosecuted for making a mistake. She lost her license and faced criminal charges. If you can imagine having more patients than you know you're able to care for, making a mistake, and then being scapegoated by the hospital who put you in that position to begin with. This is 100% a corporate greed situation that we are calling out. When the CEOs can make millions and millions and millions and millions, I'm talking in the 20 range, and they can't throw a few more nurses per shift to take care of your mother, your sister, your father, I think we should have some more public outrage. But what I've seen in the last 68 days is nothing. No public outrage, no rushing to our picket line to see what's going on. The fact that 1,700 nurses have been on the street for 68 days and there is no public outrage is hurtful. I can speak for the 1,700. We've never turned our back on a patient. Never turned our back on a person. Not a neighbor who asks us for help, not a friend. Never. It's not in our nature, but yet our government has failed us. We are reaching out, imploring everyone to stick up for what is wrong. We know it's wrong. It's not brain surgery science here. We're talking about right and wrong. For us to be denied this request and then villainized for it, the narrative is that we're asking for so much. If anyone is questioning that, we're very, very transparent. You want to know the specifics of what we're asking for? I will gladly sit down at any table. We've asked Mr. Coughlin to come sit with us. He has yet to give us a meeting. We know they have the power to pass this, and what is hurtful is that we've had to be on strike for it. To ask nurses to walk away from the bedside, that's not an easy decision. We're legally obligated to advocate for our patients. So we view walking away as the highest level of advocacy because I'm not getting paid. And on September 1st, the hospital took our insurance away. So I no longer have insurance benefits right now. That means my mammogram isn't getting done. My annual gynecologic exam isn't getting done. My annual blood pressure check isn't getting done. And to me, that's a problem that Robert Wood Johnson is not caring about. So fundamentally, health and care, the two things that they're supposed to be most worried about, have not even entered into this negotiation. We expect dignity and respect and public outrage over the treatment of us. If we can have anybody's support, of course we appreciate it, but also to take our message into the community more. To Mr. Coughlin, who I see is not here today, because I think he knew we were going to be here. It's hurtful, and we are asking for help. This is an appeal for help to have everybody do what we all know is the right thing. It's about respect and dignity. Thank you.
Thank you.
Are there any other comments from the public this evening?
Good evening, council members. Charlie Cradaville. I'm here as the editor of New Brunswick Today tonight, and I did want to just, say that I stand with the nurses union as they push for state legislation that would benefit everyone. People who work or visit or are patients at any hospital in New Jersey would benefit from the state actually weighing in and doing like California did and adopting some safe staffing ratios. So I think that since it's in everyone's interest, it's in your interest too, and you should research it, comment on it, support it, and ultimately follow their lead and pass a resolution in support of it. But I did also want to follow up about, of course, the plans for another dirty gas power plant in Woodbridge, something that would be bad for all of us, something that would harm our health and lead to more people needing the services of hospitals and making those ratios even worse. Is there any update on the waterfront park that's been promised for years? I heard last time I was here it's going to open soon. Is that the truth? Is that a reality?
Yes.
Okay. Is there a date set, celebration?
I'm not aware of a date set, but I know some of our administration were down there, and it looked very good. Anybody want to comment on that? I haven't been there, so.
Council President, the park appears to be nearly complete, but the holdup is no one's allowed on it as a member of the public until all the paperwork is cleared. And because of the complexities of the situation and the size of the project, it's just not been done yet. But it's a huge paperwork issue, and that's what's holding up the grand opening.
Thank you.
Okay, a paperwork issue, meaning that the state has to confirm that it's safe to be there or not, not polluted anymore?
Mr. Mayor, do you want to take a shot?
Don't know specifically.
Yeah, paperwork, changing hands, that type of thing. But
Okay. And is it still the plan to pursue a second gas power plant right next to that park? Is that still what you want to see happen here in your town?
that's why you're here, aren't you? Because you're not in favor of the power plant. So, yeah, nothing's changed.
Okay, so you're still supporting in the year 2023 another plan for another gas plant next to what is now going to be a park?
Supporting, you asked me if there were still plans for it to go on, and I said, yes, it's still going.
Right, but I asked what you want to see, and because this is your town, and I don't want to see that.
I'm a member of the town, and I prefer not to comment on it.
Okay, well, as we've discussed, the record shows that you've not only, signed off in a way on this project, you've actually incentivized it, right? You gave a long-term tax exemption where if the company builds the gas plant, they will get a discount on their property taxes. They will pay no traditional property taxes. They'll pay a payment in lieu of taxes, as has been discussed many times here. Yeah.
Taxes. Emphasis on payment.
Right.
So if you're alluding to something other than what's allowed by state and federal governments, it is allowed.
Right, it's going to be less than what would be paid in traditional property taxes if you didn't approve that agreement, right?
Except that's what pilots are.
Right, so it's a discount, it's an incentive, yes, exactly. So this council has incentivized, unfortunately, a development that will harm human health.
a
It's
develop.
not for us to judge if it harms human health. That's what the Department of Environmental Protection does. All we can look is the regulations of building, and if they meet that, that's where we're at. That's what we can do.
Isn't it true that this council is also the Board of Health?
It's Board of Health.
Woodbridge Board of Health. Who is on the Woodbridge Board of Health?
Yes.
You are. Okay, so isn't it your job to look out for human health?
And I believe we are. May not agree with you, but I believe we are.
Okay, so,
You have 1 minute, by the way, Mr.
Thank you.
I don't want to cut you short.
no, I appreciate the heads up. I just want to understand this disconnect here. This is a major source of air pollution. That's not in dispute. Talking of, dozens of tons of toxic, harmful pollution every year, plus millions of tons of greenhouse gas emissions every year. How is that something that's good for health? How is that something that's not harmful? We're talking about things that particulate matter that embeds itself deep in your lungs. The nurses could talk more about it than I could, but, this is stuff that's bad for everybody. Why did you incentivize that?
Because it met the standards for building, as I said to you. We are leaning heavy on the Department of Environmental Protection. I believe you're aware of who they are, and it's their responsibility to verify what's good and not good for the people of the state of New Jersey. Your time is
I
up.
think we all have a responsibility.
Are there any other comments tonight from the public?
Good evening, Tom Maris, 4th New Jersey. You come here thinking you're going to talk about one thing and you wind up finding that there may be other topics to discuss. One, I'd certainly like to commend the administration and our council on wearing the pink. I think everybody's aware that this is the fight against cancer, very important. We have the nurses here. And as you know, I just recently was in the hospital for a subdural hematoma, and I can tell you that the staffing there was short, but it was still excellent. They may be underpaid, which I believe they are, but they do take care and they try their best to take care of their charges in the hospital. I think we need to fully support them in every way that we can. And that said, I would say to them, remember, you're voters. Get in touch with every one of the politicians and tell them, you know what, you don't take care of us, we'll get rid of you. And again, I just want to thank you. I've been in both JFK and Robert Wood Johnson, and I am also a cancer survivor. I had a malignant melanoma. I've been through mammograms. I know what that's like. Again, thank you for taking care of us. A couple of other things that have come up. Some time ago, I talked to the administration about Hope Law number 10. We were going to try and weave the town, try to buy that school so we could bring it back and use it. It's being used, I think it's something to do with one of the churches, but it's being underutilized. And I was hoping that we could get that so that we could bring the students back into Woodbridge that are now being sent out for special needs. Can you please explain, when I'm done with the questioning, where we stand on that project? And also, I know that we work very closely with our police department. As much as some people here may have maligned them, I would say that I think we have an excellent police department, and I think they work very closely with our school and safety. And I'm very concerned about what type of programs we have to educate the parents that it's okay to call the police when there's a problem with a child or something at the school, rather than saying, I can't talk to anybody except the principal. If you could explain how the school the school, because one of our councilmen is in charge of that, with our police department, to promote more community awareness that the cops are the good guys. Don't be afraid to go to them. Go to them. They will help you. And we may solve a lot of problems and perhaps prevent a lot of other things. It's a dangerous world out there, as we all know. Again, if somebody would speak to that. And as far as the power plant is concerned, I hope it goes forward. I'd much rather see that power plant than windmills offshore. Thank you. I'll wait for your response.
Council President, I can speak to School 10. We looked at that building at length. We had all of our building department out there, some other experts, engineers that work with us. We went through it entirely. We determined that it would not be cost effective to try to rehabilitate and renovate that building to the current standards of the Department of Education and the DEP and the Department of Health. There was asbestos and mold throughout the building. It would have been a complete and total gut rehab to the point where we would have taken the entire building down to the studs. So we pivoted, and we own Clyde Avenue Park next to that, right next to it. It's a 7-acre site. We are working with the school district and their architect to design a brand-new School 10, which would be built right next to it. Approximately 4 classes per grade, so 24 classrooms, gym, cafeteria, all the typical amenities. It's a wonderful project. As you may know, kids from Hope Lawn and Caseby don't go to school in Hope Lawn and Caseby. They go far away. They go to School 25, they go to School 29, they go to School 9, they go to School 27. Many of them are on a bus, kindergarten kids, first grade kids on a bus, more than a half hour each way. So it's a very aggressive plan. We have been working with it with the school superintendent and the deputy superintendents and their architect and our staff. One challenge is that Clyde Avenue Park is green acres. So if we are going to take that off the green acre list, and it's about 7 acres, we have to provide 14 acres elsewhere that will be put on the green acre list. And fortunately, the school district has land that they're going to swap with us, and then we will designate that as green acres and apply for school Clyde Avenue to be de-designated. One of the good things is that School 14, which everybody's worried about now that it's been vacant, the school, it's in September, the kids all went to school, to go to School 25. That will be among the properties that we asked to be designated as green acres so that it cannot be built on. There's a lot of people in the area that worry that it'll be apartments. It won't be. That it'll be built in some kind of commercial use. It won't be. Those 1.86 acres will be part of the 14 acres we need to trade. We're looking at other schools that have land that could potentially be developed that we don't ever want to see developed. And I can't reveal them all right now because we're still in the process of working that through with the Board of Ed. We have a resolution on tonight, in fact, supporting the fact that the school district is looking for a brand-new school in the Hope Lawn and Caseby section. That's very important for the population there that literally is not near any other school. As of right now, in the second ward of Fords, Hope Lawn and Caseby, there's only School 25, and that's literally on the northwest corner of the entire ward. So this is a project that's very, very exciting. The board has submitted paperwork to the state. We're going to have a referendum on the second Tuesday in March. I don't know the date right now, but it'll follow our successful 2017 referendum of $87 million, where we paid for a brand new Ross Street School. We paid for a practically brand new Woodbridge Middle School. We paid to renovate St. Cecilia's into Oak Tree Road School 29. School 24 became full-day kindergarten, and we had school security, which is incredibly important, and technology. That was a great referendum. It passed overwhelmingly. That followed with the 2020 referendum, was about $57 million. There we provided for the gigantic addition to School 25 to house the kids from School 14. We just had a grand opening of that last week. We paid for 8 new classrooms and a whole bunch of amenities at School 28, which, as we know, is our magnet school for special needs kids. That was all paid for by that referendum. We had that last week also. We connected the pods at School 22, Lincrest School in Colonia. There were 5 separate buildings. They call it California style learning from the 50s. Kids were always outside in the elements, going between schools to lunch and class was not optimal. Same thing in School 24. We connected all that. And again, we put money toward technology and toward school security. This new referendum will not only cover School 10, but there will be something in it for every single school, again, dealing with security. There's no bigger responsibility we have right now than public safety, especially with our school kids and our staff and faculty to keep them safe. So we're once again investing there. And as we did with the early 2 referendums, we're paying this referendum off with projects that are in the pipeline, including several in Caseby, which is the area that the school is going to benefit on. So, Mr. Maris, I'd be happy to sit with you. I can show you maps. I can show you, we have the 3D little drawings they have, and they play around. They say, put the classrooms here, put the gym here, put this here, and it's really a lot of fun watching these architects use their brain and design a school. I'm happy to sit down with you. You're from that area. You're from Hope Lawn. I think you might have even gone there.
Yes.
You did. Okay. So I'm happy to keep you posted and show you exactly what we're doing.
Thank you, I appreciate that, and I'm glad we've worked on this.
No, we talked about it. You and I have talked about it at length, yes.
Thank you, and I very much applaud what you just got done saying. Thank you.
John Rotary, Woodbridge over here. I'm 77 years old. Back in March, I was first time in the hospital. All my life, grew up in this country, being stabbed in the back, all kinds of things, but I was first time in the hospital, Robert Woods Hospital. To myself, I could never make a complaint about the hospitals, especially the nurses. Doctors came up, and first of all, first time in the hospital, I said, well, it's 77, they got something wrong with me. So the only thing I had is certain things which I was dehydrated, long story short. Tonight, I was very impressed. Not one of those things we asked about raise money. Everybody of you people want more money. Those people are here not asking for money. They're professionals. They need ways to be done. I guess because socialized medicine, I grew up in this country, you got money, first serve, you no money, let's serve. Those nurses here, they are for people. Money is coming to those hospitals, government money, just coming for the schools, everything else. The problem is where do you spend it? You got an ordinance, you got so many firemen to fight a fire, so many cops to adopt you. Why can't you have something, so many patients, so many nurses? I was listening to 101.5, I believe. Nurse came up on the radio, they said, if the nurse calls in sick, she doesn't get replacement. Now, who takes care of the patient? Now, he was there, I tell you, at my age, there were nice-looking girls there, but that guy was right away, I feel better. But let's put it this way. I'm from Europe. We just had a fire started, Orson, it's a political thing in Croatia, always from Hungarian border, from Osijek, always up to Bosnia. 25 by 50 miles. They designated as a dangerous zone because the plastic is burning. Somebody set the plastic in the fire. What they told the people, don't drink the water, don't do this, don't plant the gardens in the springtime because it's not healthy for the people. Let's go back over here with pollution. We're the worst township, I think, in the Middlesex County. We got most polluted areas. That creates the disease. We all know it creates the disease. You expect those people to fight it? You expect people not to get a cancer? You expect people to get any kind of other disease? Why are we doing this? For money. We know it's no good. Why can't they do it in Hunterdon County, all those other counties? Why do they do those things? The more land that we do, there's empty space because it's approved for? Yeah, it's approved for. But how could you use something, Councilman over there, he doesn't even know the sewage comes to different, in the same pipe, it's the two different pipes. Brown water is the sewer water. Synergy is there, they're not burning flesh, I believe, in KSB. They are steaming it now. If it smells, it's a pollution, it's a disease. You can't kill certain medicine. Those nurses can tell you, you can kill the germs, but you can't kill the chemicals. Why are we doing this? For money. Not because it's better for the people, and not better for the kids, for everybody else. We are creating the disease with biggest, guiltiest people in the administration, not just Woodbridge proper, but the idea would be state. We are creating those things. First thing is not to get sick. Make sure they're clean. Make sure the city is clean. Make sure everything is clean. We don't do those things. You're building all this stuff. We know why you're doing it for money. But again, Mr. Mayor, last council meeting, you went on. You said everything's free. We all know nothing is free in this world. Somebody's got to pay for it. Maybe you don't pay from your public fund, but you get it from the county, you get it from the state, you get it from federal government. It's not free. Taxpayers pay for it. Every those people pay for it. Be there for little guy. Big guy don't need you or me or anybody else. Be there for little people. People that are sick. The nurses that from the heart, they want to help people. They're not doing this thing just to get paid. That's the job. They want to help the people. And let's support them. And again, why can't you post us, Coughlin there, why could you put you to so many patients, so many nurses? Otherwise, you cannot open the rooms. You cannot open the hospitals. They do have money. So the question is, why are we doing this? We know we're doing this because, like I say again,
Thank
don't
you
tell
for your
the people we
opinion,
got
Mr.
this.
Vitarak. Your time is up, and you look great for 77.
I always do for, I wish,
Are there any other comments this evening from the public?
I was in the hospital, that's why.
Hi, my name is Pranita Bishlani. I'm from Rahway. I stand in solidarity with the RWJ nurses and their demand to have safe patient-nurse ratios. I'm a unionized school teacher, and I know the importance of ratios. Every additional student in a classroom stretches the mental, physical, and emotional resources of a teacher. These nurses, who are considered frontline workers during the pandemic, are entrusted with an even more sacred duty than teachers from the patients they serve, to guard and protect their health and well-being and the very lives of their patients. They deserve the same respect and regard they received during the pandemic because they are still heroes. I think their message is clear. Human health and worker dignity is more important than huge corporate profits. And I stand as a member of the public outraged that the nurses' message and demands are not being heeded and not being supported by their elected representatives. Their fight is very much intertwined with the fight for environmental justice in the KSB community. As more pollutants are emitted with the building of new power plants, such as the proposed CPV2 plant in KSB, the more pressure is put on healthcare workers to deal with the sharply increased rates of respiratory and cardiovascular illnesses and cancers associated with these emissions. There is also a sharp rise in these illnesses and the increased spread of current infectious diseases and new infectious diseases emerging due to climate change. This is something that was not discussed much during the pandemic, that there is a huge rise in the last 50 years of infectious diseases because the climate is changing and the spread of diseases that were confined to certain areas. And it's happening because we are continuing to burn dirty fossil fuels, such as those that would be emitted by the proposed CPV2 plant. The pandemic is just one example of many new diseases that are emerging because we continue to pump greenhouse gases into the atmosphere. The KSB power plant lines the pockets of a corporation, CPV, at the price and cost of human health of ordinary citizens here in Woodbridge and neighboring towns, such as where I live in Rahway, and really reaching worldwide. I strongly encourage the Woodbridge Town Council and other Middlesex County elected representatives to take a stand for what is morally correct, and please support the safe staffing bill, support these nurses, and also oppose the proposed CPV2 KSB power plant. Thank you so much.
Are there any other comments from the public this evening? Here are no good comment. Can I get a motion that the public comment portion be closed?
Motion. Second.
All in favor, aye. Opposed? Ayes have it.
All righty, we're going to... Sorry. Go ahead, Mr. Mayor.
Council President, thank you. Since Mr. Vitarak and Mr. Cradaville and this lady spoke about the power plant, it's important that I read a letter that we received from the DEP regarding the current power plant. It's short, complicated, but short. The Bureau of Evaluation and Planning, BEP, has completed an air dispersion modeling and facility-wide risk assessment of the CPV Shore LLC Woodbridge Energy Center in Woodbridge Township, Middlesex County, for Title V permit renewal application review. A total of 19 hazard air pollutants, parentheses, acetaldehyde, acrolein, ammonia, arsenic, benzene, beryllium, 1,3-butadiene, cadmium, ethylbenzene, formaldehyde, lead, manganese, mercury, naphthalene, nickel, polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbon, propylene oxide, sulfuric acid, and toluene, close parentheses, admitted from the facility were investigated for cancer and non-cancer risks. The air dispersion modeling and facility-wide risk assessment shows that the estimated maximum incremental cancer risk, as well as maximum long-term and short-term non-cancer risks from all HAP emissions are lower than NJDEP's negligible thresholds and thus considered negligible. So the standards are low to begin with, and this is well below that. NJDEP negligible cancer risk threshold is 1 in a million for single source and 10 in a million for facility-wide assessment. NJDEP hazard quotient for negligible non-cancer risk threshold is 1. So we've been listening for years to the fact that this power plant is dangerous. Clearly, it is not a cancer risk. It's not even a non-cancer risk. Finally, this is put to bed, that even tonight, people saying that this power plant is dangerous, clearly it is not. And if one was to be built and open up in 3 or 4 years, it would have 15 years of advanced technology to make it even safer than the one that is built right now, which the DEP has determined is not risky, and they're probably going to renew the permit for it, which is what this letter says. So finally, we have proof, despite everything that everybody's been saying about this power plant. There is nothing to worry about it. There's nothing in the air that causes cancer. A couple of the speakers tonight talked about cancer. Here it is. Here's the proof. I'm sure the DEP has the backup to support it. I'm sure people can file open requests and get all of that. But the bottom line is, this is a currently safe power plant. The next one, if it happens, will be far safer. But again, as you said, our job is not to evaluate it from an environmental standpoint. That is not our job. We are not experts in it. I read these things. I don't know what any of them are. So we can't be expected to say to anybody that this plant is safe or not. We had 3 criteria that we used to say this is okay in Woodbridge. One of them was not the environment. It cleaned up a highly toxic, highly contaminated, polluted site. The worst in town and the worst in the entire general area is now cleaned up. And it was only cleaned up because CPV had the promise of the project where, yes, they're going to make a lot of money. But yes, they paid millions and millions of dollars to clean that site up. So it's a trade-off. No one's going to clean it for free. No one's going to clean it without an estimated return and a way to pay themselves back. This was the perfect marriage of corporate America and environmental concerns. And the site is clean. Number 2, we wanted a recreational area. And I was down there last week. We took a tour. We walked the whole mile point something track. It's absolutely stunningly beautiful. It's just not open to the public yet. It will be as soon as, like I said, the paperwork is cleared. And as you can see by these kind of things that were on the site, it's complicated. It takes a long time to clear all that. But it's clean. And it's going to be open. And there's bird blinds, there's all trails, there's information about what the different wildlife is in the area. It's on the water for kayaking. There's a boardwalk. It's absolutely stunning. And the third reason we liked it is because it turns non-taxable, non-productive financially land into something that we can make money from. Mr. Vitalik wants us to spend all this money, but he's against making money. Here's a project that's going to produce millions of dollars a year to the Township of Woodbridge like the first power plant does. This project's going to help, whatever it becomes. If it's not a power plant, it'll be something. That'll help pay for School 10. The same way that the warehouses and the first 2 power plants paid for School 21 and School 25 and School 28 and 22 and 24 and Woodbridge Middle and 11. This is the way we do things. We take money from these projects and we reinvest it in our schools in a way no other town does. The money comes in outside of limitations as to how much we can raise, and because we use it for the project, it goes outside of the limits as to how much we can spend. We do the right thing with this money and reinvest in our kids, and we reinvest it in our schools, and that means everybody's property values go higher than they would otherwise be. The people in Seawarren right now, with a brand new addition on School 28, will have instant property value increases. The people in Forge that send their kids to 25 will have instant property value increases. Ask anybody downtown what a new Ross Street school means. A beautiful, stunning new Ross Street school, all paid for by power plants and warehouses. The things people speak out against are doing great for us. So we got the cleanup, we got the rec area, we got the financial windfall, and the DEP will determine whether the project meets environmental standards. And if it doesn't, it doesn't. We will accept that. And something else will go there, and we'll still make our tax money. So that's why we did all this, folks. This is something that we think is very good for the Township of Woodbridge. And if it's not from an environmental standpoint, someone besides us will make that determination. And if it goes against what we think will happen, we'll live with it, and we'll still make money from something else. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. All right, Council, we're going to move into our agendas, which to a certain extent is a lot lighter than the discussions we have just had. And I will start out with the announcement. We had a rain out of the 16th Annual Tour to Woodbridge Bike Tour. So the rain date is this Sunday, the 15th. Registration starts at 7 a.m. The 15-mile ride starts at 8, and the 30-mile ride starts at 8:15. There are a series of events at the community center and the club for children, all the way up to seniors around the Halloween celebration that we have. Everything from haunted mini golf to a seminar on the difference between supplemental plans and advantage plans for our seniors, pumpkin painting. This is at the community center through our recreation department. Senior movies on Thursdays, they already started. Open roller skating and ice skating. These are all recreation activities with a Halloween theme to them. The only other thing that I wanted to mention was a Zumbathon for Relay to Life with the American Cancer Society. That is on Saturday the 14th. That's this coming Saturday at the community center, and you can find all of these on our website. With that said, I'm going to pass it over to Council Vice President Anderson, but not before I congratulate him on his induction into the Woodbridge Township Athletic Hall of Fame. Congratulations, Councilman. You have the floor.
Thank you. First, I'm just going to open up with saying thank you for coming tonight from our nurses. My mother-in-law was a head nurse at Christ Hospital for 40 years, and my niece just became a nurse at JFK Hospital. And I worked in the hospital system for over 13 years, and I appreciate all of the work that are going through, and I'm hopeful that you come to an agreement to end the strike so that the patient care that you deliver can once again be delivered. So thank you. Our registrations now for our recreation basketball are open at the community. You can go onto the township website. We also have over 100 fall rec soccer teams that are playing. We have free rec soccer clinics for all recreation athletes. So any player that's playing soccer right now has access to a free clinic. And then we have 32 fall rec baseball teams that are playing, and free softball clinics as well that are going. But if you're interested in basketball, the registrations are open until November, and I encourage you to go to the township website for that. The job bank is active with several companies that are looking for township residents. If you go to the Employment Opportunity Center, you will find many great career positions that are looking for people from Woodbridge Township. As Council President Ficarra mentioned, the Woodbridge Hall of Fame, Athletic Hall of Fame, held its banquet, its annual banquet this past Sunday. There were over 300 guests there, but I wanted to thank the members of the board, in particular our president, Nick Sardone, Dr. Nick Sardone, who leads this recognition of our athletes from our three high schools, Woodbridge, Kennedy, and Colonia. It is nice to see some of the athletes come back. We had a softball team from JFK from 1977, and many of them were in attendance there. We had some great guest speakers there that just to let them know that they weren't forgotten, and we acknowledged the days where they represented their schools and their community very well. So I just want to thank the members of the board, and Council President is one of the driving forces behind our Woodbridge Hall of Fame, and we hope that next year is just as good, and we'll let you know when we're accepting nominations for new athletes. But please, if you know of anyone that maybe performed very well years ago, and if they've been passed over, please get those names to us. You do have to be out of school for 20 years. So if you're out of school for 20 years, and we will begin looking at those athletes from, so next year's would be class of 2004 will be the cutoff, but anything before that as well. Okay. I do want to move down to the NAACP. They are going to be holding a meeting here at the Woodbridge Community Center on October 16th at 6:30, from 6:30 to 8:30, and that'll be in room 215, and that's open to all residents of all backgrounds. But the NAACP is making an effort to get to all of the areas in which they cover, which is Woodbridge, South Amboy, Sayreville, Carteret, and Perth Amboy. And Perth Amboy, yes. So it is considered the Perth Amboy Area Chapter is the name of it, but they cover those 5 communities. The Independent Club of Colonia had a community cookout a few weeks ago. It was bad weather, but it still was held, and they moved it from their grounds over to the parking lot of Colonia Middle School. The Independent Club of Colonia is an organization that was established back in 1949. It was a traditional historical black organization which fought discrimination of rental discrimination and housing, and is still in existence today. So they had a community cookout, and one of the great things was there were people that were at the softball field over at Colonia Middle School. They smelled the food, and they came over and just wanted to know what was going on, and they said, hey, listen, we got all this food, we got bad weather, we didn't get as many people coming, so all the people came over from the softball field and had a really, really good time, and were able to feed their kids while they were watching their sisters play softball. So that was really good, and just want to commend Phil Hall and Glenn Morgan for leading that organization. They're also going to be having a party, which is something that they've always done, and they just call it a turn back and a turn up. And this is going to be on November 4th, and it's from 9 p.m. to 2 a.m. at the Colonia Firehouse, and that's 250 Inman Avenue in Colonia, featuring DJ MC, and the donation is $20. So it's always a good time going there, and you know, you just see a lot of people from the community, and it's just a great time. I'm going to hold on the rest of my agenda, and just want to acknowledge my council mates for support of breast cancer awareness. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Bauer, you're up.
Thank you. Excuse me, Council President. Thank you, Council President. My agenda's in order. Just have one announcement for its business community. Cruising Trunk or Treat will be held on Monday, October 16th at Sipperstein's Paints parking lot. That's at 372 New Brunswick Avenue, Fords. If you're entering a car, please bring candy for the kids. There'll be trophies, food, music, and giveaways. So if you're available, come out a good Trunk or Treat this Monday. Like my councilmate Carl Anderson said, can't thank the nurses enough. Me being a first responder, volunteer fireman, some other my councilmate are firemen, and we came out and supported you during the pandemic, and now this is when they need support. I think the public needs to get behind you. I don't know if the public even knows why you're on strike. Hopefully the word gets out there. I'm going to push it out there, because what you do for us and our families is second to none, and I wish you all the best, and hopefully you can reach a settlement. That's all I have tonight. Thank you, Council President.
Can I just mention one more?
Sure. Just 2 other things I just wanted to mention. One was the Woodbridge High School football team became the Liberty Gold Division champions after their win this weekend. And so they're named champions for their division for the first time in many years. And also one of their athletes, Alex Bosch, was awarded a scholarship to Bucknell University, and I want to congratulate him for that.
There's a couple of good Anderson kids on that team,
There's
right?
a couple good, a couple of.
Councilman Small, you're up.
Thank you, Council President. Number 3 on my agenda, Port Reading Fire is having open house this Thursday from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. for fire prevention. On October 24th from 6 to 7:30, they're hosting Trunk or Treat. If you're interested in going to the Trunk or Treat and supplying a trunk, you can register with the treasurer at prfas.com. Again, that's October 24th from 6 to 7:30. Number 14, Mayor Max Cafe is open. Stop by between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. for a delicious breakfast or lunch located at 881 West Avenue in Port Reading. The Light Parade is coming upon us 11/25/23, the day after, 2 days after Thanksgiving. That's Saturday. Going to be bigger and better than ever. So, look on the township website. It's a great night. Again, that's 11/25/23. Woodbridge Elks are hosting Oktoberfest on the 14th, this Saturday, from 2 to 9 p.m. Food and beverages, DJ, kickback band, pre-sale tickets are $5, $10 at the door. Autograph signings, Saturday, October 21st, will be Giants Hall of Famer Lawrence Taylor from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. And Saturday, October 28th, will be New York Rangers former captain Ron Greschner from 2 to 4. That's at the Woodbridge Brewing Company located at 33 Main Street, Woodbridge. And if you're interested in purchasing a ticket, it's 732-634-2929. To the nurses, as a retired police officer and EMT for 42 years, I've had so many interactions with you and have the utmost respect, and I just hope that your situation could be resolved soon, and I support you 100%. With that, God bless our first responders, and God bless America. That's all I have, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilwoman Dazers?
Thank you, Council President. First, I would like to congratulate our police officers that were honored tonight for saving the life of one of our DPW workers. Again, it just goes to show how God works, and everybody was in the right place at the right time. So congratulate, and not only that, but it just goes to show how well our police officers are trained in various life-saving methods. So again, congratulations to our police department. And Nurse Weber from our school IMS was there, and she also helped in saving Eddie's life. Item number 8, the Hispanic Heritage Month. I missed the last council meeting, but I would like to thank the mayor, of my fellow councilmates, the administration, and everyone involved in their support for the Hispanic Heritage Festival, especially Eileen Caggiano and Brian Molnar. Without them, it wouldn't be possible to put on the festival. And especially our park employees. They were there setting up the stage, they were there setting up the flags, they were there afterwards for the cleanup, and I truly appreciate that they're there, and my vision has come true in everybody working together. So I want to thank Brian Pachowski, Stephen Ivansky, Craig Addy, Scott Brinker, Brandon Hutchins, Thomas O'Connor, Nicholas Smith, James Lynch, Frank Dotro, Patrick Liskowski, and everybody in the Department of Public Works. I would like to thank the police department for being involved, the health department, the library, and everyone that made it possible for us to have a great event that day. Moving on to item number 9, the Barron Art Center. They are hosting Barron Fest this Saturday from 12 to 4:30 at Parker Press Park here in Woodbridge. You'll be able to buy Christmas presents, fine arts and crafts. They have pottery, paintings, glasswork, ceramics, photography, and so on. Again, that's this Saturday, October 14th from 12 to 4:30 at Parker Press, which is right behind Walgreens or the Madeira building. They are also hosting a Jules Weber Color My World from October 4th through October 25th. You should be able to see the paintings. She's a self-taught artist with decades of experience, and this is at the Barron Art Center. You can call 732-634-0413 for more information. Moving down to item number 14, the Youth Leadership Council. I'm happy to announce that they will be having an informational meeting Wednesday, October 18th at 7 p.m. at the Acacia Youth Center. And this is for high school students that live in Woodbridge Township, a way to build up future leaders in our township. They can get involved in different subcommittees, which include the Young Arts Alliance, the LGBTQIA+, the Greenville Woodbridge, Relay for Life, and other of our causes that we support. Again, the information meeting will be Wednesday, October 18th, 7 p.m. at Acacia Youth Center. for high school students that live in Woodbridge. If you know any high school student that lives in our township, I encourage you to encourage them to attend. And that is all that I have. And again, like all of my councilmen have said before, we support the work that you do, because I think at one point or another, we have all been impacted. And if it wasn't for you, the hospital stays wouldn't be what they are. So we thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Councilman Spiller.
Thank you, Council President Carr. Item number 2, Avenel Knights of Columbus. St. Andrews Knights of Columbus presents their trunk or treat Sunday, October 29th, from 2 to 4 at 109 Morrissey Avenue at the Knights of Columbus Columbian Club Hall. To register, you can call 732-874-2512. Prize for best decorated car. Again, that's Sunday, October 28th at the Avenel Knights of Columbus. Item number 4, the Woodbridge Golden Saints. The Woodbridge Golden Saints will be having their trunk or treat. I gotta get glasses.
Borrow mine.
You got a pair?
I have them, I just refuse to wear them. I can't find the picture. I had it. There we go, I'm sorry. Woodbridge Golden Saints will be having their trunk or treat on Saturday, October 28th. That's from 5 to 7 at the Golden Saints Field located in Port Reading, 100 Saints Boulevard. To register or more information, please email eboard@goldensaints.org. Thank you. Item number 9, 2 events for my Avenel Fire Company. This is Fire Prevention Week, although we practice fire safety all year long. Avenel Fire Department will be having their open house this Saturday, October 14th from 10 to 1. Bring all the little ones, meet Sparky. We'll have fire equipment, engines in the truck on display, the smoke trailer, ambulance, first aid. From the township, we have DVRT, CERT. Missing one, Mr. Mitch. DVRT, CERT, still missing one, but community police, that's it. So we have a bunch. It's always a great day. Looks like it's going to rain towards the end, so that's good. And finally, Avenel Fire Company is having our annual comedy night. This sells out quick. This year we have several comedians that were on the Party Lang show, several movies, NBC, Corey Alexander, Ryan Mager. At Saturday, November 4th, 7 p.m., doors open, 8 o'clock showtime, $25 per ticket. Bring your own refreshments. That's at the Avenel Fire Company. You can contact Chris at 732-803-1524. And again, that's always a sellout, but it's always a great event. The rest of my agendas in order, Council President. Just like the rest of my councilmates, I want to thank all the nurses and their friends and family for coming out. We've known, what's been going on. We fully support you. Thank you for coming to the council meeting, but you don't have to wait for a council meeting. You can email or reach out to any one of us. We've all been impacted at some point. I'm a retired correctional police officer for Middlesex County. The day I got hurt, could have been really bad. I probably wouldn't be walking if it wasn't for the first point of contact that the nurses want to say, rush me in. So I hold a special place in my heart for you, everyone, so thank you very much. God bless America, thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Spiller. Councilwoman Meehan.
Council President, my agenda is in order. I just want to tell you about an upcoming event in Colonia. Next Saturday, October 21st, there will be 2 events taking place in Colonia. The first is the 7th annual Inman Avenue Breast Cancer Walk, which will start off at noon. The walk will lead from Colonia Middle School and proceed to Springwood Swim Club, where we will be holding our annual Oktoberfest. This year, the walk is in honor and support of Jerry Lazarus and Jennifer Davenport, both Colonia moms who are bravely battling cancer. We will also be walking in memory of those who have lost their battle against breast cancer, those who have won, and those who continue to fight. Colonia Fire Department will be selling pink breast cancer shirts with the Colonia Fire Department logo that can be purchased at the Colonia Fire Department Monday through Friday from 8 to 4. You can just walk in. The Oktoberfest that's being held will be at the Springwood Swim Club. We'll get underway at 12:30 immediately after the walk, and we'll go to 6 o'clock. The event is free, but there will be a $25 entrance fee for the wine and beer garden, and tickets will be sold for soft drinks and food. There'll be pumpkin painting, face painting, crafts for the kids, and also the Woodbridge Police Department and Colonia Fire Department will be on to talk to the children. This year, all proceeds from the event will be donated to the family of Brian DeSilva, who is battling CNS lymphoma. Brian, who will be hospitalized for approximately a month, and while he's getting treatments, resides in Colonia with his wife and his 4 young daughters under 10. If you can donate a basket to help us raise money, or have a large group that would like to get bracelets before in advance, you can please reach out to me at 732-382-0273. And I'd also like to say something to the nurses that are here today. Thank you for coming. My daughter has been a mobile crisis worker for the past 9 years. She has her master's in social work. She is underfunded, she's underpaid, she's overworked, and she's come home where she said, Mom, I walk past my fellow workers and they're crying at the desk, they're having mental breakdowns. They have such a heavy patient load that they can't take care of their patients. So keep fighting, make your voice heard, and whatever we can do to help you, we're here. That's all.
I was waiting. Councilwoman McCullough.
Thank you, Council President. My agenda is also in order. I have a few announcements. Fishing derby. I wanted to congratulate Olivia Horvath on reeling in the largest fish on last Saturday at the Frank Gagnon Memorial Fishing Tournament. She pulled in a 15.5 ounce fish and won the tournament. So that was a great day. We had a lot of participants. It was a lot of fun. And don't have the name of the person who caught the most fish, but I think he caught 17 little fish.
Oh, good.
Ranging from this size to this size. So it was a really great event. The kids go out there, they love it. Some of them come up with a fish that is as small as their pinky, but it's so exciting because they caught something. It's a great event. So next year, if your children are out there, sign up. It's a free event for children under the age of 16. It's really a lot of fun. The Chamber of Commerce. The Chamber of Commerce will be holding a fun evening on November the 2nd. They will be having a murder mystery dinner at Bahama Breeze. This is an 80s themed whodunit event, and come dressed up in your best 80s outfit and have a chance to win some prizes. You can log on to the Chamber website to register, which is woodbridgechamber.com. Number 8, the Animal Shelter, this Saturday, which seems like it's a very busy day around town because there's a lot of stuff going on. The Animal Shelter will be holding a Halloween contest costume that's located at 195 Woodbridge Avenue, Seawarren, New Jersey, from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. There'll be prizes, raffles, giveaways, half-price adoptions, and microchipping. So dress your pet up and come out, and or if you want to get a pet, you can come out and get a pet at a half-price adoption this weekend. Then we have the Seawarren Library, also this Saturday, is having their Halloween party from 10 a.m. to 11 p.m., 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. with activities, snacks. Come dressed up and join the fun at the Seawarren Library. Also, just a reminder, at the Seawarren Library, every third Saturday of the month, there is a story time that is held from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. And on October 22nd, which is the third Saturday of this month, the theme will be Welcoming Fall. That's a free event for children of all ages. Also, for the Woodbridge Fire Department, they will be having their open house this Wednesday, October the 11th, from 5 o'clock on. Come out and learn about some fire safety and get some information at the Woodbridge Fire Department. Last, I'd like to thank the Haunted History Productions for hosting their annual Ghost Walk this last Saturday. Many residents came out, enjoyed the ghostly stories, supported the vendors that were there, learned interesting historical facts about our town. All the actors did an amazing job, which was a very spectacular event. And thank you to all the nurses who came out today. We do appreciate all that you do for us, and I would like to support everything that we can do to help you too. So thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman. You mentioned the Chamber of Commerce on your agenda, but you're certainly not going to mention that they're honoring you as the Citizen of the Year, so we also congratulate you on it. Before I move into the administration, there were a number of folks that came in a little late that are here to support the nurses, and I just want you all to know, if you were late, first of all, thank you for making the effort to be here. Your colleagues spoke very well about the plight that they're going through, and I want to let you know, as you heard from each and every councilwoman, that your voices are heard, and we appreciate you taking the time to come here to Woodbridge. With that said, Mr. Mitchell,
Excuse me, Council President.
Over to you.
Can I make one more trunk or treat announcement?
If you
Write this down. If you have kids, get a lot of candy. Woodbridge Township First Responder Trunk or Treat will be held on Thursday, October 26th from 5 to 7 p.m. at Woodbridge Center Mall, Sears parking area. Come out in your favorite costume, get some treats, and support your first responders. So it's another trunk or treat in our town. So these kids are going to have a lot of candy this year. Thank you. And thank you for Woodbridge Police Department for arranging all this. Thank you, Director Hubner.
Anybody else?
I don't think there's any place left to have a trunk or treat.
All right, Mr.
He's happy.
Good luck.
Yeah, I'm not handing out candy, I'll tell you that. My agenda is in order. I have two announcements. First is a reminder we will be going to the Board of Health meeting right after the legal department. And the second item, although not quite AARP eligible yet in the next 4 hours plus, I'd like to wish Mr. Spiller a happy birthday.
Thank you.
All right. All right. Okay, Mr. Semaluka, you're going to handle the administration?
Absolutely. Thank you, Council President. I have several items that will be up for resolution at the next council meeting. I have a 100% disabled veteran. I have a tax and sewer overpayment. I have a Chapter 159 enhancement local public health grant. I have a Chapter 159 for pedestrian safety grant. And I have a resolution authorizing the execution of a lease modification for the agreement of Oak Tree Road SID parking lot. Thank you, Council President.
Very good. Thank you, Director. Director Hubner?
Thank you, Council President. I have 6 traffic ordinances. Thank you.
Very good. Director Kologinski, I'll hold off until the end because you're going to be making a little spiel. So I'll pass on you. Director Darden?
Thank you, Council President. Just stand by me, leaving one resolution. Thank you.
Thank you. Director Brew?
Thank you, Council President. My agenda is in order. Thank you.
Very good. Legal?
Thank you, Council President. Nothing from legal this evening.
All right. So, Mr. Kologinski, folks in the audience, Mr. Kologinski is representing our health department and is obligated by law to make a quarterly report, I guess, right, Mr. Mitch? So we're going to do that. You're welcome to stay. You're also welcome to leave if you're interested. Mr. Kologinski, lay it on him.
Thank you, Council President. Our agenda is in order. However, I have updates on the following items. Number 3, last week we held our last of 3 annual free rabies clinics. It was well attended. Once again, we vaccinated a total of 88 animals, 60 dogs and 28 cats, which brings the total to 364 dogs and 62 cats for the year for the 3 clinics. For item number 7, the Woodbridge Behavioral Health Department has been approved to continue receiving funding as reimbursement to cover the fees associated with operating the Woodbridge Opioid Overdose Recovery Program. In addition to the funding received from the Attorney General's office for operating the program, the New Jersey Department of Law and Public Safety has awarded our Behavioral Health Department an additional $50,000 in supplemental funding for the Operation Helping Hand program to support the Blue Cares hotline. Item number 8, our annual health fair will be held on Saturday, October 21st from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. at our health center located at 2 George Frederick Plaza, right near the main library and the high school, Woodbridge High School. There will be music, health ed materials, community resources, free health screenings, crafts, and activities, as well as trick-or-treating, special treats, and more. For more information, you can visit the Township website or the Health Department Facebook page. And finally, item number 10, our Health Mobile, which was put into service on June 27th of this year, has been very successful. Last week, we reached a milestone of 1,000 patients seen for screening services. We have provided these screening services to our senior centers, numerous township events, such as our concerts, the street fair, back-to-school backpack events, and other events. We are in the process of evaluating additional uses for the Health Mobile, including schools. And that's all we have for tonight. Thank you.
Thank you for your report. Please extend our appreciation from the council to your department. They do great work. We had the mobile health unit out of the parking lot here today. It was good to see them. And is there anybody in your department with names like Jones or Smith or anything like that? Make it a little easier on council president to refer to you, but don't answer that. Thank you. Can I have a motion to adjourn? Motion. And all those in favor? I thought so.